Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Many people think that Islam is only big in the Middle East, but who would have thought? The Philippines has a long history of Islam full of struggle, and it still survives today. Islam first entered the Philippines in the 14th century, brought by traders and scholars from Arabia, India, and Southeast Asia. From that moment, the seeds of Islam began to grow in this distant land. The Sultanates of Sulu and Maguindanao became centers of Islamic power. They were not only kingdoms but also guardians of law, tradition, and dawah. When the Spanish arrived with the mission of conquest and conversion, the Muslim sultans refused to surrender. They fought to protect both their faith and their homeland. Although other regions fell, Islam in Mindanao stood firm. The resistance lasted for centuries, ensuring that Islam could never be erased. One of the greatest leaders was Sultan Kudarat, remembered as a fierce warrior who never gave up against colonial forces. When the Spanish called them Moro, the Muslims of the Philippines embraced the name as their identity. They wore it with pride. Islam survived not only through battle but also through education. Generations of children continued to learn the Quran and Islamic law. Simple mosques stood in villages, serving as centers of prayer, knowledge, and unity for the people. This deep faith allowed Islam to endure, despite pressure from Spanish rule, later American colonization, and even into the modern era. Islam also survived by blending with local culture. Arts, clothing, music, and traditions were enriched with Islamic values. Even though Muslims became a minority in a Catholic majority nation, their identity remained strong and unshaken. The Sultanate of Sulu even established diplomatic ties with other Muslim empires, including the powerful Ottoman Empire. These connections strengthened the link between Filipino Muslims and the wider Islamic world, reminding them they were part of a greater ummah. In modern times, despite long-standing conflicts, the Muslims of Mindanao have remained faithful and resilient in preserving their religion. The struggle shifted from swords and spears to diplomacy and political negotiations, but the spirit of resistance stayed the same. Today, Mindanao is the heart of Islam in the Philippines. Cities like Cotabato and Marawi are seen as the strongholds of Muslim life. Even when Marawi was devastated by war, the determination to rebuild the Islamic city never disappeared. A new generation of Filipino Muslims is growing up with awareness of their history. They know Islam survived because of their ancestors' sacrifices. They carry the legacy of leaders like Sultan Kudarat, Sharif al-Hashim, and countless scholars who fought to preserve the faith. Islam's survival in the Philippines is no accident. It is the result of unwavering faith, struggle, and a strong identity. This is living proof that even as a minority, when faith is protected with devotion, it can endure through the ages. The history of Islam in the Philippines is a history of resilience, and today, Filipino Muslims stand as living witnesses of that legacy. Islam has survived in the Philippines until now because it is not just a religion, but the soul and identity of a people that could never be extinguished. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more history.